Good morning. This is Kent Blaylock with SDG Bible Study. That's the Soli Deo Glory Bible Study coming to you on this Tuesday morning, June the 4th, 2024. Hope everyone is doing well as we're getting into this week. And I hope you're giving God the glory that He so greatly do. This morning, we will continue in our reading from the Robert Murray M'Cheyne 1-year plan. We're going to be in 4 chapters this morning. We're going to be in Deuteronomy chapter 10, Psalms chapter 94, Isaiah chapter 38, and Revelation chapter 8. So join me as we read God's word together this morning. Deuteronomy chapter 10. At that time Yahweh said to me, carve out for yourself 2 tablets of stone like the former ones, and come up to me on the mountain, and make an ark of wood for yourself. And I will write on the tablets the words that were on the former tablets, which you shattered, and you shall put them in the ark. So I made an ark of acacia wood and carved out 2 tablets of stone like the former ones, and went up on the mountain with the 2 tablets in my hand. And he wrote on the tablets like the former writing, the 10 commandments, which Yahweh had spoken to you on the mountain from the midst of the fire on the day of the assembly, and Yahweh gave them to me. Then I turned and came down from the mountain and put the tablets in the ark which I had made, and there they are as Yahweh commanded me. Now the sons of Israel set out from Beeroth Benajacan to Moserah. There Aaron died, and there he was buried, and Eleazar his son ministered as priest in his place. From there they set out to Gudgodah, and from Gudgodah to Jotbatha, a land of brooks of water. At that time Yahweh set apart the tribe of Levi to carry the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, to stand before Yahweh, to minister for him, and to bless in his name to this day. Therefore, Levi does not have a portion or inheritance with his brothers. Yahweh is his inheritance, just as Yahweh your God spoke to him. I, moreover, stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights like the first time, and Yahweh listened to me that time also. Yahweh was not willing to destroy you. Then Yahweh said to me, arise, go on your journey ahead of the people, that they may go in and possess the land which I swore to their fathers to give them. So now, Israel, what does Yahweh your God ask from you, but to fear Yahweh your God, to walk in all his ways and love him, and to serve Yahweh your God with all your heart and with all your soul, and to keep the commandments of Yahweh and his statutes which I am commanding you today for your good? Behold, to Yahweh your God belong heaven and the highest heavens, the earth and all that is in it. Yet on your fathers did Yahweh set his affection to love them, and he chose their seed after them, even you above all peoples, as it is this day. So circumcise your heart and stiffen your neck no longer, for Yahweh your God is the God of gods and the Lord of lords, the great, the mighty, and the fearsome God, who does not show partiality nor take a bribe. He executes justice for the orphan and the widow, and shows love for the sojourner by giving him food and clothing. Show love for the sojourner, for you were sojourners in the land of Egypt. Yahweh your God you shall fear, him you shall serve, and to him you shall cling, and by his name you shall swear. He is your praise, and he is your God, who has done these great and fearsome things for you, which your eyes have seen. Your fathers went down to Egypt, 70 persons in all. Now Yahweh your God has made you as numerous as the stars of heaven. Now to Psalms 94. O Yahweh, God of vengeance, shine forth. Be lifted up, O Judge of the earth. Render recompense to the proud. How long shall the wicked, O Yahweh, how long shall the wicked exult? They pour forth words, they speak arrogantly. All workers of iniquity vaunt themselves. They crush your people, O Yahweh, and afflict your inheritance. They slay the widow and the sojourner and murder the orphans. They have said, Yah does not see, nor does the God of Jacob discern. Discern, you senseless among the people? And when will you have insight, you fools? He who planted the ear, does he not hear? He who formed the eye, does he not see? He who disciplines the nations, will he not rebuke? Even he who teaches man knowledge? Yahweh knows the thoughts of man, that they are vanity. Blessed is the man whom you discipline, O Yah, and whom you teach out of your law, that you may grant him calm from the days of calamity, until a pit is dug for the wicked. For Yahweh will not abandon his people, nor will he forsake his inheritance. For judgment will again be righteous, and all the upright in heart will follow it. Who will rise for me against evildoers? Who will take his stand for me against workers of iniquity? Yahweh, if Yahweh had not been my help, my soul would soon have dealt in the abode of silence. If I should say my foot has stumbled, your loving kindness, O Yahweh, will hold me up. When my anxious thoughts multiply within me, your consolations delight my soul. Can a throne of destruction be allied with you, one which forms trouble by statute? They band themselves together against the life of the righteous and condemn the innocent to death. But Yahweh has been my stronghold and my God, the rock of my refuge. He has brought back their iniquity upon them and will destroy them in their evil. Yahweh our God will destroy them. Now to Isaiah chapter 38. In those days, Hezekiah became ill to the death. And Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amoz, came to him and said to him, Thus says Yahweh, set your house in order, for you shall die and not live. Then Hezekiah turned his face to the wall and prayed to Yahweh and said, Remember now, O Yahweh, I beseech you, how I have walked before you in truth and with a whole heart, and have done what is good in your sight. And Hezekiah wept greatly. Then the word of Yahweh came to Isaiah, saying, Go and say to Hezekiah, Thus says Yahweh, the God of your father David, I have heard your prayer, I have seen your tears. Behold, I will add 15 years to your life, and I will deliver you in this city from the hand of the king of Assyria, and I will defend this city. Now this shall be the sign to you from Yahweh, that Yahweh will do this word that he has spoken. Behold, I will cause the shadow on the stairway, which has gone down with the sun on the stairway of Ahaz, to go back 10 steps. So the sun's shadow went back 10 steps on the stairway on which it had gone down. A writing of Hezekiah, king of Judah, after his illness and recovery. I said, in the middle of my life, I am to enter the gates of Sheol. I am to be deprived of the rest of my years. I said, I will not see Yah in the land of the living. I will look on man no more among the inhabitants of the world. Like a shepherd's tent, my dwelling is pulled up and removed from me. As a weaver, I rolled up my life. He cuts me off from the loom. From day until night, you make an end of me. I soothe my soul until morning. Like a lion, so he shatters all my bones. From day until night, you make an end of me. Like a swallow, like a crane, so I chirped. I moan like a dove. My eyes look wistfully to the heights. O Lord, I am oppressed. Be my security. What shall I say? Indeed, he has spoken to me, and he himself has done it. I will wander about all my years because of the bitterness of my soul. O Lord, by these things men live, and all these is the life of my spirit. O restore me to health and let me live. Behold, for my own well-being I had great bitterness, but it is you who has held back my soul from the pit of nothingness. You have cast all my sins behind your back. For Sheol cannot thank you, death cannot praise you. Those who go down to the pit cannot keep watch for your truth. It is the living who give thanks to you, as I do today. A father makes known to his sons about your truth. Yahweh is here to save me, so we will play my songs on stringed instruments all the days of your life at the house of Yahweh. Now Isaiah had said, let them take up a cake of figs and apply it to the bull, that he may live. Then Hezekiah had said, what is the sign that I shall go to the house of Yahweh? Now to Revelation chapter 8. When he opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven for about half an hour. Then I saw the seven angels who stand before God, and seven trumpets were given to them. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and much incense was given to him, so that he might add it to the prayers of all the saints on the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense went up with the prayers of the saints out of the angel's hand before God. Then the angel took the censer and filled it with the fire of the altar and threw it to the earth. And there followed peals of thunder and sounds of flashes of lightning and an earthquake. And the seven angels who had the seven trumpets prepared themselves to sound them. And the first sounded, and there came hail and fire mixed with blood, and they were thrown to the earth. And a third of the earth was burned up, and a third of the trees were burned up, and all the green grass was burned up. And the second angel sounded, and something like a great mountain burning with fire was thrown into the sea. And a third of the sea became blood, and a third of the creatures which were in the sea, those which had life, died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. And a third angel sounded, and a great star fell from heaven, burning like a torch. And it fell on a third of the rivers and on the springs of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And a third of the waters became wormwood, and many men died from the waters because they were made bitter. And the fourth angel sounded, and a third of the sun, and a third of the moon, and a third of the stars were struck, so that a third of them would be darkened, and the day would not shine for a third of it, and the night in the same way. Then I looked, and I heard an eagle flying in mid-heaven, saying with a loud voice, "Woe, woe, woe to those who dwell on the earth, because of the remaining blast of the trumpet of the three angels who are about to sound." And that's going to conclude our reading from God's Word this morning. As we've read these 4 chapters this morning, we saw in Deuteronomy Moses' recounting of receiving the second set of 10 commandments, and then him speaking to the children of Israel about obeying God, not being stiff-necked, obeying his commandments, and loving God with all their heart and soul, which they failed to do. And we've known from previous readings that the children of Israel are like us. Their hearts are fickle. Their hearts waver quickly into sin. Then in Psalms, we saw the psalmist writing about God's judgment on the wicked. In Isaiah 38, Hezekiah praying to God to give him more days, and God hearing his prayer. And there in Revelation, the 7 seals and the 7 trumpets, God's judgment being released on the earth. Hope you've enjoyed the reading. Hope you will enjoy the day that God has given you, and that you will give him glory, for he alone is worthy of it. Soli Deo Gloria.